Hey guys, Kevin Ryers. We'll talk about the gear, talk about our setup and what we actually use to catch our crappie with. And you see these crappie guys using longer and longer rods. The longer rod helps you stay away from the trees or the target or the brush pile. They've been around for quite a while. We actually started crappie fishing before there was specific jigging rods for crappie. The first tournament we ever won were with fly rods because they were 9 foot long. And then the invention of the crappie jigging pole came out. This is my signature series jigging pole from Jinko Fishing. I say this thing's 30 years in the making. This is exactly what I want in a fishing pole. This rod right here is 13 foot long and it weighs less than 8 ounces. So I mean, it's nothing there, but it is powerful enough to where I can boat flip 2 to 3 pound crappie with this rod. So that's made by Jinko Fishing. Little bitty mini reel on here. This is the President from Pfluger. This is what I like, this little bitty simple mini reel. I'll go to a small bait cast reel if I'm fishing shallow where I don't have to reel. We're fishing deep here, 20 foot deep, so you want to have something to reel with. The number one key to this jig fishing that you see these guys doing, hand to hand, when the rod's in your hand and you're fishing, I believe, is the braid. That thump is what I live for. That thump wakes me up in the middle of the night. I have woke up in the middle of the night setting the hook and scaring the crap out of my wife because of this braid. And it has to do with this total combo. It has to do with the rod being sensitive enough to feel those crappie and this braid. If you've ever experienced the crappie thump, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't experienced it, I wish you would stand right here and I'd put this rod in your hand so you can feel it. It is amazing. To me, it's like a topwater bite on a buzzbait or a popper. It's the same effect. When these crappie thump that jig, it's amazing. So I can't imagine using monofilament to do this. Fluorocarbon, yes, a little bit, but the braid, if you're fishing dirty, dingy water, even if you're not, still having that braid main line with the fluorocarbon leader, braided, the technology in braid is so advanced than it was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, it was okay. It is amazing now. I use all type braids. I don't just use one. I've used Spider Wire, I use Power Pro. This is the Strike King line on here. Braid. Doing this hand-to-hand combat, putting these jigs right in these crappie face and letting them smack it, this braid is a lifesaver, and it allows me to swing them right in the boat without a dip net. So that's our combo. I mean, I've always said this is about high-tech cane pole fishing as you can get. A long stick with some line and a jig. That's what this really is when it comes down to it. Now, we do have better technology in our rods nowadays. You know, we got stainless steel eyelets and everything else, but that's it, guys. It is crappie fishing 101. It's dipping, it's jigging, it's doodle socking. Wherever you live in the country, that's what they call it. I call it jigging for crappie. A lot of people call it everything. It's one pole, one jig, dropper on their head, and hammering them up into the boat. So there's our setup for doing that. If you haven't checked out these rods, man, I urge you to grab one of these. It's so lightweight compared to the other rods. There's other rods out there that are on the market that are just giant and they just wear it out. I don't weigh 300 pounds. I can't bench press 500 pounds, so I like a lightweight rod. I'm out here all day long. I don't want that fatigue. So that's how we designed this rod, to help with that fatigue and for all day fishing. Because when I go, I like to go sunlight to dark. So I want a rod that doesn't weigh, 20 ounces. I want something light. So there's our setup. Hopefully you guys, if you haven't tried the braid when you're crappie fishing, man, give that a try. See if you don't catch more crappie in a year's time.